Hi everyone, Michael here now on my third and a half day in Calgary. I'm here to perform in a play. And while it's still fresh in my mind, I've decided to make a series of videos about what I've noticed about Canada that's different than my experience of Poland. It's a little bit of a culture shock, to be honest, after 8 years living mostly in Poland. Coming back to Canada, it's like, wow, this is not Poland. And that's neither a good or a bad thing. It's just different and interesting to me, anthropologically speaking. There is a lot more caution in Canada around everything except for marijuana. Pot is legal in Canada. You can get it anywhere. You frequently smell people smoking it on the street. That's just a normal thing. In Poland, not to be confused with Potland, which is not a real place. In Poland, marijuana is very illegal. I would say that in Poland, it is far more cautious in and around marijuana. In Canada, they are far more cautious about everything else. Bike riding with helmets. Now, in Poland, I don't use a helmet because very few people use helmets in Poland. It's probably not good to be less safe, to be less cautious in Poland. It's just like no one talks about it. I remember people advocating for bicycle helmets back when I was living here, and now it's kind of like if you ride a bike and you're not wearing a helmet, there's something wrong with you. Being here in Canada, I have a bicycle that I'm using, and I thought I'm not going to wear a helmet because I don't wear helmets, but I have been. I just feel like if I leave the house without the helmet, I might be judged, which is the wrong reason to wear a helmet. It should be because you want to keep your brain safe. But for me, it's it's a combination between safety and judgment. The smoking, we all know that smoking is bad for you. In Canada, nobody smokes. I mean, every now and again somebody might smoke, but for the most part, people don't smoke. In Poland, people smoke. Smoking is borderline still cool in certain worlds. Certainly in the theater, there's a lot of people who smoke. In Poland, there are things called palarnias, which are basically like smoking rooms, like indoor smoking rooms where people just go and smoke, which is gross. And that doesn't exist here. People don't smoke here. You can't even smoke on patios. So there's a lot more caution around that. The last example I'm going to talk about is COVID. There's certainly more people still wearing masks. And on the first day of our rehearsal, they gave us 6 COVID tests. And they talked us through the COVID rules. There are 2 understudies on our show in case one of us gets COVID. And I got a whole bag full of COVID tests. You get sick, you test. That's what you do. And the funny thing is that Calgary is pretty dry. And so, every morning you wake up feeling a little bit sick, or at least dry throat. You're like, am I sick or do I have COVID? There are certainly no COVID precautions that are spoken about at the beginning of a rehearsal process, and not in the theaters I've worked in anyways. That said, in Poland, there's, a war next door. And yeah, once the war in Ukraine began, COVID in Poland ended. At least certainly the rhetoric in and around COVID. Because why worry about COVID when there's war? So that's interesting. I'd be curious about things like what are the COVID numbers in Poland versus Canada? Although, who knows how those numbers are being calculated. Also, like life expectancy. I wonder what the life expectancy is in Canada versus Poland. I'm sure I could look that up, but it's more fun to just wonder. Is all this caution worth it? Does all this caution lead to longer lives for the Canadians than the Polish people? Anyways, I don't know. Curious to hear your thoughts. The last time I posted a few examples, I had some people go, well, it sounds to me like Canada's just full of babies and Poland's, so much better than Canada, which is a thing that I get from Polish people sometimes on my posts. Like there's this need in Poland for people to feel that they're better than other places, which is a thing that I notice in Poland sometimes. Oh, we're better than you because we're Polish. In Canada, that's not a thing. People aren't like, we're better than you because we're Canadian. No, we're sort of like, we're Canadian. Sorry. Hope you like us. And Poland is like, you don't like us? Who cares? Fuck you. Deep down, I think Polish people really want to be liked, and Canadian people are also want to be liked, but we understand if you don't really care about us. Anyways, that's all for now. Thanks a lot, and until the next one. Bye-bye.